I need new music.
This is the JJO Discover New Music Podcast.
Ryan, how are you, my friend? Good to see you.
Man, I'm good. Good to see you too, man.
Appreciate you taking the time. Excited to talk Highly Suspect. I got to admit something to you, and I feel terrible doing this. I've yet to see you guys live in all the years that I've been doing this, and ever since you have come out, and I've just missed you by like days, by hours, by seconds at times. And so I don't know what needs to happen. If you want to like fly me out, pick me up on the effing tour bus, because it's outside of watching, performances, videos, all the stuff you guys have done. I feel awful, Ryan. I feel terrible about that.
Oh, that's okay, man. You don't need to feel bad. Like we're hopefully going to be doing this for the rest of our lives. You got plenty of chances.
All right, good.
Also, get your ass to a show. What's wrong with you?
Jesus, God almighty. I feel like, how can I even talk here? How can I even do this? I am serious. I'll ride on the tour bus. I take up very little space. I'm not a big guy, and I won't drink too much of your stuff on the bus. I'll be all right.
Okay. All right. Deal.
All right. Let's talk new music. Brand new album, As Above, So Below. 5th studio album from you guys. What maybe stood out in making this record that you noticed from previous works?
Yeah, I mean, we went off brand a little bit there in the past couple of records, and I think it's reasonable for people to try new things. You want to make sure that you love what you're doing. But what those records did for us is we decided that we didn't really care what the outcome would be. We just wanted to make something that was truly an honest impression of the band. And we had a conversation going in, is this a concept album? Do you want to bring in co-writers? Do you want to, there's a million options that you can use going into making an album. And the thing that we all agreed on unanimously was, if we make an album and it turns into, like, no offense, if it turns into like a Fish album, it just sounds like a jam band thing or whatever, like, I don't care. I just want to make the most authentic thing to the band, whatever the band sounds like in that moment. And it worked because we made the album that we wanted to make. We didn't know how it would sound when we started doing it. We did it. We did the hard work. We got together, 5 dudes in a room. We just worked it out. And that's really how to do it, especially when you've been, the 3 of us have been in a band for 15 years at this point or more. And so it's like a marriage, you get a lot of issues and stuff that you got to work through. And that's really hard to do while you're making creative decisions together, because you're pissed that somebody said something the day before. But the Dave Grohl said once, there's something magical about the way that people in bands sort of disagree with each other and agree with each other. Don't quote me on that, but he said it in some acceptance speech. It's there's something magical about the way people can rub. If you take away the elements of tension, it's easier to do, and you get a lot cheaper of a product. You don't get the magic. You don't get the feel of the tension in the room, the passionate guitar solo because John's pissed at so-and-so. You know what I mean? Those things sort of add up into this unmeasurable music. And that's what we got. And we're stoked on this album, man. We can't wait to go out and tour. We just did a little tour. We did 9 shows, and we played the album start to finish. No Lydias, no Humans, no hit songs. It was just so refreshing to play the album start to finish and hear people's real-time feedback. They were just stoked. And that makes the whole thing worth it for us.
I'll be honest, your excitement, your passion, your enthusiasm behind this is what's the word? It's transferable. It's
palpable.
It's palpable. It's goddamn when something the transferable.
Yeah, it's you can reach out and touch it.
You're right. It's there. It's if I get you sick, it's what the fuck is it? Whatever it is. Anyway, I can feel it. And I think that's what you're trying to get across there. And that's very exciting. And that does kind of lead me into another question that I wanted to ask, because you kind of alluded to this, and, whether it's maybe some disagreements or trying some new sounds, or maybe taking some chances here and there, because as a band, and I do not want this to come off as downplaying any of the grind that you guys have put in, but you experience something that a lot of bands don't get to either right away or ever. And that is that rocket ride to success very early on. You think about Mr. Asylum did exceptionally well. And then The Boy Who Died Wolf. I mean, that took you up into the stratosphere. And I wonder now with this, does that maybe almost kind of put some weight on you? That success and do we need to recreate this? We gotta make another Lydia. We gotta and now here we are with as above so below. How did that transfer over for you?
Oh, dude, we were totally not ready. We were a bunch of like 20-year-old alcoholics that were just like, who came from the bar. We were just chasing girls and drinking beer and like having fun. And then all of a sudden record deal and Grammys. I mean, I often, when I talk about it with people, I tell them it was like wearing a jetpack, but you didn't know you were wearing a jetpack. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my God. I'm like, I don't know where the ground is anymore.
Right.
And all we were doing was partying and we didn't really know how to handle it. And nobody really does. But I think, like not everybody's equal. Some people handle it better than we did. And I think it kind of like put us through the ringer. And then, we after a lot of discussions, MCID, we gave John the reins on a lot of that to, let him fly and see if it made things, made good music. And then we couldn't really see the results of that because then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And then we made Midnight Demon Club during COVID. And, we all know how that was for everybody. So that whole album making process was hard for the wrong reasons. And all the pressure from the previous successes to be like, we need to make something like this. But I think the real breaking point for us was realizing that when we made those albums, we didn't go into it with, some sort of idea of what it needed to be. It was just a natural, let's just make what truly is us. And whatever that sounds like, that's what it is. That's the band right now. And, if we suck, we suck. But whatever it is, it needs to be something that we really love.
Right.
And that was the only thing that was important to us. So we made so many songs got the axe because I didn't like it or Rich didn't like it. The only songs that made it to the album are ones that were across the board approved. Everybody liked them. And that caused a lot of problems because you'd be like 4 against 1, and everyone's like, well, I really like this song. And I'm like, that song sucks. And, but if it pushes forward and that song makes it on the record and we play it live, now I'm going to resent that song every time I play it. I'm not going to want to promote it. I'm not going to be happy on stage. That's just going to, start to rot away the whole thing. So, it was a lot of hard work, but I don't think we'll ever do it any differently at this point.
Yeah. Well, it's exciting, and it seems like again, it's fun being the young, carefree rock star out there. But I don't want to put words in your mouth, but maybe some maturity that we see in this, both in how the band is putting stuff together, the creative side of things, more mature, highly suspect in putting together as above, so below. Is that okay to say?
No, dude, it totally is. I mean, I'm 40 next year. Like, it is what it is. Like, let's not try to act like we're still in our 20s, Yeah. And honestly, not for nothing, like I'm totally here for it. I want to make music for people that get where I'm at in life. You know what I mean? Like, we're not out here making TikTok dance videos for the young kids. And like, if they like our music, that's dope. But like, we're just going to be us. Yep. And whoever enjoys that, that's the fan base,
Yeah, I love it, man. Well, again, the latest album, As Above, So Below, from Highly Suspect. Again, the 5th studio album and the latest incarnation of where the band is at. Do you have a track that really resonates with you? Is there one that, I don't want to say favorite track, but maybe one that's like, yeah, that gets me every time?
Yeah, Run for Your Death. But I don't think that's super radio friendly because it references drugs a lot. But the one that we all agreed upon was Plastic Boxes. I think that's the single out right now. That one was a beast to make, and it sounds so simple when you listen to it, but the verse and the chorus have a BPM difference of 30.
Wow.
So we knew the parts would work together. We liked both the parts. And we loved what John was doing melodically like vocally. We were like, we have to make this a song. We knew that we had to face that challenge, but we couldn't, like, finding out the form of that song and how it would flow smoothly together. It went through 10 different iterations before we finally found that one. And it was the last thing we recorded because we were just so fed up with it. I'm starting to get grays now because of that freaking song. But now it's one of my favorites because, like, it's like, we did it, we conquered that mountain together, and it was hard. It was so hard to do.
I love that. I love that explanation. You did it. There was a song that you knew you wanted to have work. You're trying to figure out how it would work, almost beating it to death, beating yourself to death with it. And then now it becoming your favorite, or at least a staple on there that resonates with you. I love that. And doing it with the band, that's awesome, man.
Listen, rate, share, subscribe. Discover new music now at WJJO.com, in the JJO app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Rock has a new interview every Thursday evening between 6 and 7. 94.1 JJO.
I need new music.
This is the JJO Discover New Music Podcast.
With this album, what do you hope the band takes away from this? And what do you hope listeners take away from this latest record?
I think the best thing the band could take from this is just leaning harder into, like, the current camaraderie and vibes that we're having. Because things are a lot better internally than they've been in the past few years. The band has been through some things. But I think for fans' sake, a lot of people were sort of turned off by the past couple records we put out, and we kind of divided our fan base, which is, as everyone knows, that's a really bad place to be in, and I just want the fans to see us sort of having a return to form, like being the band that they fell in love with in the beginning, because that's what we did. We made something that was true to us, like we did in the very early days. And that's the thing that resonated with people. And, we can't do this without them. If we didn't have fans showing up, then we would just still be a bunch of dudes drinking beer in the garage, And I love my job, and I want to keep my job. So I just want people to be happy, come out and have a good time.
I love it, man. I'm so excited for you guys, and I'm just over the moon that we can talk about new Highly Suspect. That's never a bad sentence to say. As above, so below. It's out now, and if people out there listening and haven't picked it up, quit being a fool and go get it, because you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You heard it from Ryan himself. And you know what I was thinking of earlier? Infectious. Your energy is infectious.
That's a $5 word.
That's a $5 word from a $2 guy, buddy. Trust me. So, it's a surprise, but it's infectious. And I think this whole interview, I can say, if you don't mind me saying, it's exciting to see, especially again, a band that, and like we talked about at the very beginning, that you just, like you said, you had that jetpack on and didn't know you had it on, and now to see maybe that, I don't want to say level off, but that next level of really being comfortable in your creative skin and being able to know what you want and the product you want to get out for the fans. And I commend you guys for that. I really do.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that.
Now, before we go, we still have, now that the important stuff's out of the way, let's have a little fun here if we haven't had any fun yet. Because if people don't know, you started this band with your twin brother, Rich, and brothers in the rock world, the Gallaghers, the Robinson Bros, notoriously have a lot of turmoil internally. How do you guys, especially being a twin, is it different because you're twins?
Probably.
Yeah. Maybe you're more connected on a deeper level, a more molecular level.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be honest, man. Like, I don't know what it's like to not be a twin. I didn't have the option. I didn't pick that upgrade, but I mean, it's pretty dope. Like, I used to resent the fact that we shared everything. We shared birthdays, but I think that was just a younger, more, just a different version of me.
Yeah.
And I'm stoked, man. I got a buddy locked in, like yeah, I
Yeah.
know he's always got my back. We actually get along 100% of the time. I think I've been in one argument with him, and we love each other and we're there for each other. I know it's my other brother in arms that really like I've had issues with. John and I have gone back and forth over the years, and our relationship has definitely taken a beating, and I think publicly as well. But we've also traversed that bridge together, and we're it's he's a better friend than I've ever had at this point.
I
So
love it. I
yeah,
love it.
it's good, man. Hey, dude, like it's like a marriage. It's like being married to a bunch of dudes.
Well, yeah,
It really is.
everyone thinks it's all fun and games, but hey, there's emotional stuff in there too, man.
Dude, it's tough. Yeah, you try to be locked on a steel box, traveling around the world like
Right.
all the time.
Well,
See what
and
happens.
you guys have been doing this for a long time too, because this brings me to my next thing and my other fun question I wanted to have, because you guys got together and you started as a bar cover band. So this wasn't like, all right, we did musical school and we met at some band thing. No, you were like, all right, let's do this. Let's have a little fun. And we're in a bar cover band before, you got to this level of it, which I love. I do have to ask, with that, when you and your brother Rich and Johnny were out there, what were your favorite bands or favorite artists to cover? Did you have favorites? You're like, yeah, this is going to be a good night. We got a stacked list of, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we had to play the classics. You got to get Brown Eyed Girl in there. You got to get Billie Jean. You got to get some Bob Marley, some Sublime, stuff like that. Like we are like on a beach.
Right.
But yeah, every once in a while we whip out like Muse. Man, it was so long ago. But yeah, we definitely whip out our favorites. I do remember one year we were covering like two of their songs off the set. We were just like insanely influenced by those guys. And John, unbeknownst to us, took the money we had earned from some of our gigs, and he bought tickets to their show at the Boston Garden.
Yeah.
And he just dropped it on us. We were just sitting around, and he just dropped the tickets on the table and was like, "We're going to see Muse." And we were like, "Wow!" We drove to Boston, and we walked out with our heads just blown off.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, man, we just did a tour with those guys.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah, it was insane. I was like fucking. Oh, sorry. I was trying to like not lose my head. Like I'm standing there talking to Dom Howard, and I'm like, I love you so much. and then to top it off, like I'm sitting there like at the end of the tour, and we're having a cup of coffee, and I'm like, hey, like I'm gonna be in LA over the summer writing some music. Like you want to grab a beer or something? He's like, well, I'm not gonna be around, but do you have a studio in mind? And we were like, no. And he's like, do you want to use our studio?
Oh man.
And I was like, are you kidding me? Not only did we write the album in Muse's private studio in Santa Monica, but we recorded the entire thing there.
That's awesome.
It's insane.
That's full circle. That's serendipity, whatever you want to call it. The stars aligning, and that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, you can't beat that one, man. That's
minus you crying in front of him. Besides that, it's still very good. Very good.
Yeah. I held back. I think I did a pretty good job of holding back. He's also got to be used to people fanning out around him.
Right. Yeah.
He kind of like calmed me down. He was like, I get it. I get it.
Here's my handkerchief. Calm down. Relax. You'll be all right.
It's okay. I just play drums too. It's all it is.
I love it. Well, hey, before I let you go, now that we got some fun stuff out of the way, I do this with everyone. It's rapid fire, and then we'll get you on your way. So no wrong answers with this. You just go with your gut. We'll learn a little bit more about you. So first, Ryan, mashed potatoes or baked potato?
Baked potato.
Do you do fully loaded, fully dressed? All the fixings?
Oh, yeah. I can't do cheese, which blows, but I still love a baked potato.
All right. We'll take that. Disco or techno?
None.
You got to pick one.
Oh, come on. I can't do either of those two. You know what? I'd rather go disco.
Okay.
That was like what inspired Foo Fighters. Like a lot of like Dave Grohl's licks were disco stuff. So
we'll get you out there on that lighted dance floor. You can cut a rug. Soaked jeans or damp socks?
Oh my God. Soaked jeans. I can't stand wet socks. Is like, I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah. So you'd rather chafe a little than have the wet feet. That's fair. That's fair. Would you rather see Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster?
Loch Ness Monster for sure.
I love it when people give me that. Now, do you know the theory behind the Loch Ness Monster?
It was like a cardboard cutout or something. It was like a prank.
No. Researchers believe that it was actually a whale penis.
Oh, are you sure you weren't just taking a swim and they,
Oh, how generous of you. Very much so. That's the tiniest Loch Ness they've ever seen. All right. Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Yeah, honestly, I used to play soccer. I think I would take on the.
It's a visual right there. That's all you had to say. You just there just until your hamstring seizes up, just punting, just going for it. Last one. One punch from Mike Tyson or 100 punches from the Where's the Beef lady.
Oh my God, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, she can beat my ass all day. Mike Tyson, you kidding me? Like, dude, he hits you wrong. Like, you're in trouble, dude.
Yeah. I don't even think, even if he hits you right, like, even if it's like, all right, everything's safe, I'm going to punch you in this spot. Like, if he hit my arm, it would just shatter into a million.
It would suck so much, dude. Absolutely.
Thank you for humoring me. More importantly, Ryan, thank you for talking new music. Highly Suspect, new album out now, As Above, So Below. Can't wait to hear more from you guys. Really appreciate it.
Hey, man, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Listen, rate, share, subscribe. Discover new music now at WJJO.com, in the JJO app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Rock has a new interview every Thursday evening between 6 and 7. 94.1 JJO.